What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm actually going to be talking about who I think the Orlando Magic should be drafting in the 2021 NBA draft. Of course, as it sits right now, they do have projected the second overall pick. I will actually, be looking at their projected order, not doing an official simulation because it's too hard to tell because the draft lottery is, it's so confusing. Who knows what's going to happen? I guess we'll have to wait and see where Orlando really fall in the draft. But at the time of making this video, they do have the second overall pick. And they actually have the 10th overall pick, which they managed to get in the Nikola Vucevic trade from Chicago. I believe that pick is actually top 4 protected. So again, if it goes in the top 4, it will be Chicago's pick. But of course, that is a very big stretch, and it will most likely fall out of the top 10 picks. So again, I will be talking about those two picks in today's video. Now, this was actually a clip from my 2021 NBA mock draft. So if you guys haven't gone and checked out that video, I highly recommend going and checking it out. Links for that will be in the description down below. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. This is a more weird one where it's kind of like tossing up between Jalen Green and Evan Mobley, but I think considering the Magic have a lot of guard depth right now, I know that they possibly need a small forward. If they fall down the draft lottery, I could see them taking like Kuminga, but I think right now you kind of go best available, and in my opinion that is Evan Mobley. Now they obviously do have Wendell Carter coming off the bench, well, starting actually now as their center, but I feel like Wendell Carter is kind of that guy to come off the bench and play to 20 to 25 minutes per game guarding the center. He can also guard the power forward position on times as well. He is 6'9", so I feel like he's more of that, explosive center off the bench that can put up a lot of points and play some potential defense here and there. Of course, he's not a great defender, and he's never known to be a great defender, but again, if you get him in the right role, I think he'd be perfect off the bench. But Evan Mobley is a guy that you, of course, cannot go past. He should be the number 2 pick, in my opinion. He is currently averaging 34 minutes per game. 30% from 3. He's gradually improving that jump shot, as most of us do know. He's averaging 16.4 points per game, 8.7 rebounds, and 2.4 assists on a field goal percentage of about 58%. And of course, the big one, which a lot of people are looking at, is 2.9 blocks per game. He is a 7-footer that could even potentially play power forward. We've seen that he's played power forward quite a bit. In fact, ESPN actually has him listed as a power forward. I think his more natural position will probably be center, but again, by the time he develops in the NBA, I could potentially see him going through a hybrid role, similar to how Anthony Davis goes about it, how AD is probably a center, but plays as a, 7 foot, 6'11" type power forward. I think Mobley will be a pretty similar thing. Mobley is a very lanky guy, though, very skinny. I think that his body is, I'm not too sure if it's necessarily ready for the NBA. Again, as we see here, he's averaging about 8.7 rebounds in college. I could see him very much struggling in his first season when it does come to rebounds, just because I don't necessarily think he has an NBA-ready body. We've seen James Wiseman kind of go through this, where Wiseman's averaging less than 6 rebounds in his first season with the Golden State Warriors. So I think that's mainly the issue that you kind of look at if you're the Orlando Magic. But again, looking on as a further thing, I think you pick him over Jalen Green, not just as well because he's better than Jalen Green, but as well as I think the Magic do have, quite a bit of guards on their team. Of course, Markelle Fultz will be the main point guard for the future. Cole Anthony will be the 6th man, I would think. They've also got RJ Hampton, who's actually been playing quite a bit better, since he has been on the team. They've got Gary Harris for another season. Terrence Ross they'll probably trade eventually, but he is still there. And Michael Carter-Williams, who has been pretty loyal and pretty good for Orlando for a couple of years, who I'm sure they'll most likely want to keep. So again, as I was saying, I think they're kind of solidified with their guards. And if they were needing a guard, probably a backup shooting guard in free agency or something like that. Again, they could look to take Jalen Green, but honestly, I think their center/power forward depth is a lot worse right now than what their, kind of guard depth is. Maybe they could even start potentially Evan Mobley and Wendell Carter Jr. on the team at the same time. You know, Wendell Carter Jr. can play center, Mobley can play as that 6'11" or 7-foot power forward, similar to an Anthony Davis role, and then maybe Jonathan Isaac can go back to guarding the small forward. So again, I think there's a lot of room they can work with Evan Mobley, and again, that's why I think they should take Evan Mobley with the 2nd overall pick. With the 10th overall pick, I have the Orlando Magic, and they've actually got this pick from Chicago revolving in the Nikola Vucevic trade. And with the 10th overall pick, I do have the Orlando Magic selecting Jalen Johnson. I believe Jalen Johnson is best available here, and I know that his season with, you know, Duke might not have been exactly great, but I do see a lot of potential in this guy. I do see that he has the defensive, you know, capability to be a right player eventually. You know, 45% from 3 was really, really good. I know some people have their worries about that translating to the NBA. Look, if he has a couple bad seasons from shooting from 3, I'm sure he'll learn how to, you know, get more consistent with it eventually. He does average 11.2 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, and he can guard, you know, 1 through 3, which seems to be pretty nice as well. I've even seen him just be like a 6'9" shooting guard, which is absolutely crazy. I think he'll be more of a small forward in the NBA though, but I do really like him with the Orlando Magic. I think he would be a really nice guy to come in. You know, he can be best available to come in with their team. You know, they've got enough point guards and shooting guards. Wing plays, you could say they've got a couple of them, but considering Otto Porter will most likely be going, you know, in free agency, Gary Harris will probably be getting, you know, traded or limited minutes. I think Jalen Johnson would be a really cool guy to come into this Orlando Magic team and just help out with some more depth. But of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget to check out my podcast if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. And don't forget, you know, just to comment what your thoughts and opinions are. Do you guys like my mock draft? Did you guys think it was good or bad? Of course, I'd very much like to know your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But as I said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.